Welcome, everyone. I'll go by the name of Camilio Salamander and my co-host KB the Mark.
Cause I'm a fucking mark for this shit.
And you are watching the featured number one wrestling podcast show on YouTube. With that being said, welcome to the D&B podcast.
Salamander, you're a busy man these days, so you might be not really in the loop on what be going on in wrestling on a daily basis. But let me inform you about the hot take discussion that's been going on all day. The question is Randy Orton a better wrestler than Kenny Omega? I'm going to tell you how it all began. JR was on his podcast, Grilling with JR. And he said, I don't think anybody is any better than Randy Orton in the wrestling business. Of course, that's so subjective. I love Randy's work. Although I don't watch it regularly enough to make a great evaluation. In the last several months that I have tuned in to watch some of Randy's segments, he doesn't disappoint. No matter how the creative is packaged to him, he doesn't disappoint. Now, he also said, I'm sure there's Kenny Omega fans out there that will say Omega is the best wrestler in the world. Some will, and they got the right to their opinion, and I'm not going to argue it. Omega is really freaking good. In any event, it's a good time to be a fan. A lot of great talent out there, improving their game, adapting, and adding things. So then Chris Jericho chimes in. And he says, in my opinion, Kenny Omega is the best wrestler in the world today. Others may feel differently. But I've been in the ring with everybody currently working on top, and there's nobody close. That's why Kenny is the AEW champ, the most protected title in the biz. It's impossible to argue. Omega responded to Jericho, saying, meh, I'd rather believe the bigot cook, dimwit E-drones, and the guy that thinks I'm the WWE champion. He was talking about JR on that last one because a couple months ago, he had referred to Kenny Omega as the WWE champion. So my question to you is, one, is Randy Orton better than Kenny Omega?
Hell yeah.
Two, do you see anything wrong with what JR said? And three, if you're the owner of AEW, how do you look at this?
All right, one. Randy Orton, yes, he is way better than Kenny Omega. Now they both started wrestling in 2000. I just seen that. But Randy, he was wrestling first. He got a couple months ahead of me. Now I see that Kenny was actually with the WWE in the early 2000s, right? See, he ain't make it. He got cut. Randy Orton, some say because his dad was wrestling, that's the reason why he earned his way there. But just like JR said, every Randy Orton segment does not disappoint. Even when Randy's not all the way in there, he's not feeling it, it still never disappoint. Now, I'm new to Kenny Omega, so I'm just now hearing about. I just heard about him back in 2014. So to me, he was brand new to me. So I don't even look at everything that he did before that. I'm looking from the time I noticed him to now, and looking at that time, that's kind of like his prime period from there. Before then he was in the independent scene, doing, in the tag or whatever like that. But from 2014 to now, and just compare Randy Orton from 2014 to now, Randy Orton did way more than he did. If you want to compare from 2000 all the way to now, Randy Orton has way more accomplishments and everything. If you put Randy Orton in AEW, I guarantee less than a year he would be AEW champion. I guarantee it. But if I'm Tony Khan, I'm keeping an eye on. I'm listening for it. I want to hear everybody take about this, because this could be something that, you know, I know Tony Khan, he's a smart man. There could be something that he can, if I would keep my ear out for it, because there can be some type of future relationship that we all think can never happen, but you never know, it might happen. Vince, if they depending on the type of money that will be getting talked about, Vince might change his mind. He might do it. We don't know. But I'm keeping my ears out if I'm Tony Khan, you know, because this could be a big money maker if they do it. If they go ahead and set up a Kenny Omega versus Randy Orton. That's a dream match. That would be match of the decade. For real. Just because, not even who it is, just because it's WWE actually partnering up with another big company. We had this talk before.
I mean, we have had this talk before. I'm going to disagree with you. And a couple of things that's wrong here with your statements of what you just said about Kenny Omega. First off, Kenny Omega is the best wrestler, bell to bell, in the industry. And I'll partner that to say this. How many babyface matches have you seen Randy Orton in? It's very few. He doesn't wrestle good as the babyface.
You don't need to be a babyface. That's the
thing. But that's what I'm saying. He doesn't. You're absolutely right. But I've seen Kenny Omega matches where Kenny Omega is the babyface. And here recently, I've seen Kenny Omega heel matches. And both of them delivers. Randy Orton can't wrestle a babyface style. He is forever a heel, and that's the character that works best for him. But Kenny Omega can do it on both sides. Now, granted, storytelling, I don't think he's anywhere close. Storytelling, he's not anywhere close to a Randy Orton. That's where Orton has him trumped. But Kenny Omega, bell to bell, is the best wrestler in the business. But the thing is, he doesn't have the best. He doesn't have the best heel act in the business right now. To me, his heel act is number 3 on the list, behind, of course, the Tribal Chiefs, and then the Almighty WWE champion Bobby Lashley.
You started.
Bobby
Lashley, Hurt Lock, Sleep, Repeat. Yeah, you gotta show some respect when you say his name.
I do. Every time. The Almighty WWE champion, Bobby Lashley. I give him the whole title. Just like the Tribal Chief, the head of the table, Roman Reigns. They get the full title.
It's Roman Reigns. No, it's the Almighty Bobby Lashley. Then it's Roman.
It's definitely not. Roman definitely has the best storyline in the wrestling business today. But to get back to Kenny Omega, this is like 6-star Omega that we're talking about. He's had numerous matches that are 5 stars and above. And I can go back to, I want to say Wrestle Kingdom 12 with Jericho and Omega. And even the match that Jericho and Omega had in AEW. It's like Omega just spits out classics like it's easy. What's the last 5-star Randy Orton match?
Man, the one with Matt Riddle, he just did that.
Is that really a 5-star match?
I would say it's like 4.5.
Yeah, I'll give you 4.5.
I'll say it's been about a year. I'm gonna come back to it. Let me go ahead and do something.
Omega and Rich Swann just put on a 5-star clinic, like I think a little bit over a month ago, when he won the TNA Impact World Heavyweight Championship. Like, Kenny Omega just spits these matches out like it's easy. I will also agree.
Impact in wrestling.
Are you asking me who's had the greater impact?
Who will forever be remembered?
Kenny Omega.
Randy. Name some of your favorite Kenny Omega moments.
when he robbed John Moxley, when he beat Rich Swann, the lights out match that him and Moxley had, the Rich Swann and Omega. He's had several New Japan matches with I believe with Okada. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Everything you just said was like from 2012 to now. You can go back to 2002, 2003, 2004 and say some moments that Randy Orton had.
I mean, of course, everybody has their moments. I mean, the Undertaker match at WrestleMania 21.
Hey,
when
that's
he kissed Stephanie.
If you ever say, like, if you think about Randy Orton and you talk about Undertaker, with Randy Orton, that's the first time that the streak was ever acknowledged. He's the first person to ever say, I'm going to end your streak at WrestleMania.
I mean, moments are moments, but you're not answering my question on the last five.
Got the legend killer. How many legends had Randy Orton killed? Put down.
Too many to count, but that's his gimmick. That's his gimmick. Just like Omega's gimmick is the belt collector. He's got like 5 championships.
I could count one person, one legend that Kenny Omega basically beat, and that's Chris Jericho. He ain't facing enough people that actually I ain't buying that. I can't say Kenny Omega is the best.
Why not?
I can't.
He spits out 5-star classics like it's nothing.
Nah, I can't.
I think, you know what? I think it's actually impossible.
Who has a bigger impact in wrestling?
Randy Orton, but that's just because of the WWE platform.
But if it was vice versa, I mean, it don't really matter who. It's all about, your fan base, your wrestling skills.
Listen, the WWE don't want the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega in there because they know that they walking in there with creative control, and they could probably turn that whole show around. The Elite. Not to mention, the Elite is already in the ranks of WWE with baby Adam Cole.
They actually tried. They wanted the Young Bucks in there. They gave them.
Yeah. Triple H was going to give them, I believe, $500,000 in creative control. You think Vince wants that on the main roster?
That's why they would be in NXT.
But NXT can only go so far. Vince is eventually going to want them on the main roster.
Randy Orton is the best. That's really it.
You haven't backed it up. What is the last 5-star Randy Orton match?
Last 5-star.
The last 5-star Randy Orton match.
All right, give me a second. Man, what he had at the WrestleMania with Edge last year. That was good.
You're talking about that 40-minute last man standing match? The match that everybody says went 15 to 20 minutes too long?
The match was still good though.
It was too long.
The match was good.
It was too long.
Storytelling.
And then they tried to follow it up with this is the greatest show. The greatest wrestling match ever. Between Randy Orton and Edge. That put Edge on the shelf. Until the Royal Rumble.
What about his United States run? Even his time with the Wyatt family. Like all that stuff had just happened.
Oh, you mean when they could have put the belt on the late great Luke Harper? Because Luke Harper was the only smart one in the group who was seeing that he was the only one getting over because we know that Randy Orton's a fucking snake.
That wasn't Randy's fault. That was whoever.
That was creator's fault. You're right.
Hey, if they tell me, hey, we're gonna put this belt on you, Solomon, I'll be like, all right. I ain't about to be like, no. All right, yeah.
I want you to understand something, and this is why Randy Orton will never be Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega is the champion of 3 promotions.
What promotions? AEW,
Impact, and AAA.
And they still ain't even on the level of WWE.
You crazy. AAA puts on classics.
He can hold every title on every promotion that right now, the AAA, TNA, and AEW, and it still won't matter because dumb promotion ain't WWE. They don't have the fan base. They don't have the quality. All that stuff. They still gotta do AEW. They just 2-3 years in. They still newborns in this. It shouldn't be nobody from that roster to be getting compared to anybody in WWE because they still got stuff they have to fix. They still got stuff they need to do. They need to fix on that camera work. Some of them. So
look, why are you dragging production into this? This is Randy Orton versus Kenny Omega. Who's the greatest? You still haven't told me the last 5-star Randy Orton match. Omega had a 5-star match with Rey Fenix on January 6, 2021. I remember that episode of Dynamite. That's a 5-star classic. What's the last?
Every match Randy wrestled is a 5-star match.
No, it's not. The match with Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania was god awful. The match with Drew McIntyre at Hell in a Cell was god awful.
That got 4 stars though.
It was not that good.
And the one that was on Raw got 4 stars. When he faced Drew McIntyre.
Salamander. You've yet to tell me the last 5-star match. I can go back to Revolution 2 years ago. Kenny Omega and Hangman Page versus the Young Bucks for the AEW Tag Team Championships. It was 6 fucking stars. The match was so fucking good, Salamander. I cried watching it. It was that fucking good. What has Randy Orton done? This is the same Randy Orton who lost to Jinder Mahal at Backlash.
He putting talent over.
Talent over. That was one of the worst.
Randy Orton ever. When Randy Orton did that, he already accomplished so much in his career. If he decided to retire after that match, he'll be a guaranteed Hall of Famer.
He is a guaranteed Hall of Famer in WWE.
Right. So why we gotta prove what's his last 5-star match?
Because I just gave you 3 5+ star matches with Kenny Omega, but you're saying that Randy Orton is better.
Compare the whole career. Randy Orton career, they both started in 2000. They both still wrestle now. Compare each other's career. Randy Orton has a better career. Therefore, he's the better.
Why? Because he's on a bigger platform. That's the only reason why.
It don't matter what promotion.
Salamander, you still have yet to tell me the last Randy Orton 5-star match. You're ducking the question.
I've given you 3.
He hasn't had one. He hasn't had one. Is that what you're saying?
He hasn't.
Yeah, I just ripped off 3 Kenny Omega 5-star and a 6-star match. And I haven't even gone back into the vault of the New Japan matches that were knocked out of the park.
Yeah, of course the Wrestling Observer gonna give them 5-star matches because WWE won't put on matches that go over 30 minutes unless you are a big name superstar, and because of the BS that WWE be promoting. So anything that we get besides that's the BS that we get at WWE, of course it's gonna be better than what it is. Than what we already used to watching. So of course if you see something new, you're gonna be like, ooh, damn, this is better than WWE because of what we've been seeing. So of course, Kenny Omega matches that go on 30+ minutes gonna be better, and they're gonna give it 5 stars because we don't see that on weekly on WWE. That's why he getting so many matches, dog. But I guarantee if WWE was booking the same matches 30+ minutes long and all that, he would not. Like I said, compare the careers. They both started in the year 2000. They're both wrestling now. Randy Orton has a bigger career, the better career. It don't matter if he's with WWE or not. They both went to WWE at the same time. Kenny Omega didn't make it. It's a reason why. Now he did get better over the years and making a name for himself now, but I mean, AEW 3 years in, they still got stuff to do. People can't compare AEW to WWE. They still got stuff to do. They need to still get their feet wet. Kenny Omega still need to get his feet wet. He just now accomplishment. Before AEW and before he was with New Japan, before he really blew up, he wasn't capturing big titles and shit. By the time he actually captured the IWGP Championship, Randy Orton already been like a 7-time World Heavyweight Champion. He's just now getting there. By the time he's blowing up, Randy Orton is at the point in his career where he's putting people over and he don't need to put on 5-star matches or try to. He's been doing the great work ever since he came in the game. Every segment he had, you can't say was bad. You could point out a couple segments that Kenny Omega probably did that wasn't, it was probably like that. But Randy Orton, any segment he did, no matter what the storyline is, it was always 110%. Always.
You're talking about the same Randy Orton that couldn't put over Bray Wyatt.
Bray Wyatt wasn't meant to be over at that time. You're
right, because they should have put Luke Harper in the match and put the belt on Luke.
But right, it was they called the wrong shot. But that's not Bray's fault. I mean, if Luke Harper would have won, Luke Harper would have got over. The reason why, because the fans wanted Luke Harper to win. But WWE, they changed their mind and shit like that. They went the other way. It's like that with anybody. So, I mean, if you can't put that all on Randy Orton because he didn't get him over. That's WWE for calling that shot to go ahead and have a win and ignore the fans. That's WWE's problem. They always ignore the fans. AEW, they listen to the fans. So, of course, when they listen to the fans and these matches are 35 minutes long and whatever, they going to get 5 stars. Because at the end of the day, we getting what we want. We not getting what we want with WWE. So, of course, you're going to be like, damn, this match trash. This match is like, I'm going to give it 3 stars or whatever like that. Like, of course.
Listen to what you're saying. And I want to correct you. Not every Randy Orton segment is good. This is the same Randy Orton who will go to the ring and cough up black goo. Like, what is that? What is that?
His effort.
What is that?
The effort he put into everything.
What type of effort is that? He came out and spit up black goo. What is he possessed with a demon? Why is he even out there?
Randy Orton, the GOAT.
The GOAT? Oh my gosh. The GOAT is in AEW and he goes by the name of Le Champion, Chris Jericho. And you've yet to answer my question. You said he don't have one. You said he doesn't have a 5-star match. You want to compare careers? That's fine. Randy Orton is on a bigger platform, but Kenny Omega has dominated across the world.
Randy Orton, the GOAT. Randy Orton don't need to go to different promotions and travel the world. He's with WWE. WWE got all the fame. That's like you being with the NBA and you the big star, and then this person over there in China hooping and he's better than you. And they're like, man, who's better? He's better. But they're like, nah, that's not fair because he's in the NBA and the NBA got more exposure. It's the same thing. It don't really matter who you wear with. He traveled the world because he had to. He didn't make it in WWE, so he had to make a name for himself everywhere. That's why he traveled the world.
He held up.
He was good. He was able to maintain, stay in WWE, wrestle the WWE, make a good career for himself out there. I mean, it's the same thing.
He held up WWE for money. What are you talking about? Randy Orton was going to come to AEW, but WWE was like, no.
Yeah, pay me my worth. Pay me my worth. If I've been with y'all 15 years, and now I feel like I deserve this. I've been giving y'all everything. Like I said, he did everything. All his stuff is good. Matches, promos, everything is good. He never disappoints. So when I get to a point in my career, I'm like, yeah, I want this now. Pay me my worth. I've been doing everything for y'all, sacrificing for y'all. Pay me my worth. Yeah, no matter. You gotta do what you gotta do. Get your coin though. He secured the bag.
Yeah, the same Randy Orton who held down Kofi Kingston. The same Randy Orton who held down Kofi Kingston. Literally called him stupid.
All the greats.
And literally derailed his push.
All the greats at least stop somebody's push. I guarantee AEW is only like 3 years in. Let AEW be 10 years in the game, and I bet you we'll hear some stories coming out with Kenny Omega having backstage heat with somebody, and it was supposed to be somebody getting a push or something. It's going. Everybody does it. You can't name not one wrestler who was on like the main thing, the main like the face of the company or whatever, who didn't stop somebody push.
What's the question again?
You name somebody who was a face of the company, any company, who didn't stop nobody push. Besides Kenny Omega, because AEW is brand new. AEW got to get at least a decade old. But I guarantee then we'll hear all these stories. They just now, they still in the newlywed stage. Just let it fly by some more and let us really see if they really gonna be here or not. You feel me? Of course, people gonna be tuning in and shit like that because it's new. You're seeing something new besides WWE that's in the North America that's getting broadcast on cable. So we're seeing something new. But of course it's gonna be going now. But go ahead and let them get some years under their belt and see if they'll still live up to the hype or whatever.
That's fine, I guess we're gonna differ, like it's, you're more of a WWE guy, so I can understand your defense of Randy Orton. I'm more of an AEW guy, so I'm gonna, not always, I'm gonna call it, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna be objective. If it's bad, it's bad. I've seen way more bad segments with Randy Orton this past, I want to say the last 7 to 10 months. So basically the past year. I've seen more bad segments with Randy Orton than I have with Kenny Omega. And I'm salamander. I know what I'm going to get with a Randy Orton match. Kenny Omega still leaves that sense of wondering, what the hell am I going to get in this match? And that's why he has multiple 5-star matches. Randy Orton is great. Don't get me wrong. He's a better storyteller. But in the ring, bell to bell, there is no doubt in my mind that Kenny Omega is the better wrestler.
Guys, what y'all think below? Go ahead and let us know. Do y'all think Kenny Omega is better, or do y'all think Randy Orton is better? Trust me, we be watching.
We do.
That's a wrap. But thank you for tuning in to another episode of D&B Podcast. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until then, we'll see you on the next one.